Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And, Mr. Secretary, I want to thank you for your leadership. I think most people acknowledge that this Attorney General's settlement, although ably led by Attorney General Miller of Iowa, would probably not have come together without your personal involvement, and that's an extraordinary achievement. I think the paralysis that we've seen around here, maybe it's been broken because now at least we've taken a step forward. There's tangible relief to homeowners. It's not perfect. Seldom do we do perfect things here, but it's progress, and we haven't seen a lot of progress over the last few years. And not only that, you have led the way with proposals to expand the effectiveness of the HAMP program, to make it more useful, to apply it to a broader spectrum of Americans. All of that has been practical solutions to this gnawing problem of a housing market that was collapsed, frankly, not on your watch, but on your predecessor's watch, and you've been trying to rehabilitate it. We've seen some modest progress, but not enough. Now, one of the things I think is interesting, and I think you've sensed it too, is that if you look at the people who are the commercial banks that hold loans in their portfolio, that are bound by fiduciary obligations to make money for their shareholders, are actually writing down principal as a way to keep people in their homes. In fact, yesterday, the American Banker reported 80% of homeowners who received a modification from these commercial banks, so their principal cut. And yet we haven't seen that by the GSEs and by others, although I think you have made progress in the HAMP program by giving further financial incentives. Could you talk about this issue of principal reduction as the way to keep people in their homes?
Well, Senator, thank you for asking about this, because I think it is, if I look at the sort of range of tools that we've tried to use through the last few years in the housing crisis, principal reduction is the one tool that we've made perhaps the least progress on until recently. And there is growing evidence that particularly where someone is deeply underwater, if they're looking at 10, 15 years of paying their mortgage without being able to start building equity again, that at some point that will have a real impact on their ability to keep going and keep paying their mortgage. And so the ability to begin to sort of break the logjam, if you will. There are so many frictions that we see in the system that we have to principal reduction, to be able to break through some of those frictions, to get interests aligned among all the trustees and the owners of the loans and others, is one of the things that we've been focused on, particularly over the last few months. And I think between the settlement itself, as well as these other incentives that we're providing, that those are very important steps that we hope can jumpstart more principal reduction happening, which again, we do think is good both for homeowners and communities, but also for investors in those loans, where it can allow people to pay, stay in their homes, and increase the value of those mortgages.